I'm wondering, have you applied any techniques? I've been using, without officially using, some of the big five personality trait
Mm,
questions as I kind of call it a slow qualifier of team construction. So one of the things I've been doing is saying that the first 30 days of when we start up a team is kind of like the probationary period for everybody. So you have so many votes that you can kind of, vote in and out of yourself, right? Now you can't vote other people off the island. That doesn't make any sense. That would no, that would actually be an interesting idea, because that would actually be a qualifier or a disqualifier, I should say. But I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on applying kind of psychometrics, because it's something I've really been doing, or I'd say accelerating the last 3-4 years in doing, and team construction, because I think there's just this gross mismatch, right? We're trying to form fit methodology models around people, and in our field we're
yeah.
just saying, hey, but pretend we're making cars, right? And we're going to the Toyota production system, and we all agree, and we all have to bring all our families, and everyone has to work a shift. I mean, we would instantly start sorting each other based on natural strengths and weaknesses on the work we would do. So that makes sense there. But for some reason, when we do what we do here, we still just keep throwing the blob at it and wondering why half the time the people don't fit. So I'm just wondering if that's
Mm.
something you're investigating or applying.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, well, I'm a bit of a amateur psychologist. I mean, well, when I say this, it's just because I read a few books, right? But but I mean, so in fact, I gave a talk on that. In fact, at Agile. Well, the one-day conference we had.
Oh,
When was this? Last year? Was it last year, Mike? Which was
yeah.
yeah, which was a remake of a conference talk I gave at Agile on the Beach. You know, this is a conference in the UK. Anyway, and I talked about the psychology of Agile, right? And so big fan of the Big Five model, right? Because they have several psychology models out there, right? There's a Myers-Briggs, there's others, right? But the Big Five seems to be the one that's scientifically actually backed up by science, as opposed to something made up. And in fact, I presented my profile out there. I said, hey, that's what my profile is. So I was quite open about this. And I've done, since then, I've done it with teams just to initiate that, how would you say, that safe space idea, right? Like I said, look, this is my profile. I'm really extroverted, and I'm really not that conscientious. Sorry, things like that, right? And I'm not agreeable either. But the openness of this, right, was people like, oh, okay, you shared this profile, okay. Now, I was thinking at some point, should we make this compulsory? Like everybody makes the test and everybody shares the profile, but that might just defeat the purpose, right? That if people are not quite open to this yet, I feel like it should come from them, right, as opposed to being imposed, right? But just do it if you're the leader of the team and you do it yourself, then I guess it shows that okay, it's safe to do that. So it's okay to be open, and it's okay to be human, and have a different personality type and so on. I don't know if that does it. There was another part to your question, but I forgot what it was.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering it in terms of applying it in team construction, because it's something
Right.
has an impact, obviously, because people know I do it, so they respond accordingly. Meaning they sometimes don't want to be involved, or they have kind of let's say other negative responses. But to be honest, I found it's literally the biggest predictor of success. If I get these teams constructed without saying Big Five, just using this little openness, agreeableness, that's it. Those are the two I even ask, actually. And I just cherry pick the questions. It's all open source now. And I just say, let's go. You go.
Yeah, no, so the problem is that in the corporate environment, you're going to have so many constraints about how the company works and how they form teams, right? And it's going to be mostly based on skills and nothing else, right? Well, React and C#, so boom, together, done, go and work and do that thing. With no, I guess that's what you're saying, right? With no regards to whether they're going to get on or have the same, what would you say, ideology or view of things, right? And I keep going back to introvert and extrovert because that's an obvious example that people can relate to, right? But and another good one, and I'll stop talking because I'm talking too much. But there's you could see people as doers and versus dreamers, right? And then the doers, for example, they just like to do stuff, right? And then you have the dreamers who like to have options. And I'm a bit of a dreamer. I like to have options. I don't want to be constrained, right? But so imagine a situation where you have a doer comes to a dreamer and say, "Hey, man, I'm stuck there. I've got option A and option B, and I don't know which one to choose," right? And then the dreamer, instinctively, I would do that instinctively if I don't watch myself. I would say, "Hey, well, cool, but have you thought about option C, D, and E, and F?" Right? And for the doer, that's a nightmare. It's like, "Oh, thanks. I had 2 options. Now I've got 6. Right? Awesome. You made it worse." Right? So and the same the other way around, right? If I'm a dreamer and then the doer says, "Oh, just make a decision." It's like, no, I can't make a decision because I haven't explored the whole space. Don't force me to make a decision. I need to have more options. So it can be a nightmare, right? To navigate 2 people like that working together. It's just
Or
right.
or married.
So it's extremely important, and I wish there was much more self-organization that way, right? But in practice, how do you do that? I'm not sure, right? If you have constraints of, well, he's busy and he's doing this other project, and what do you just refuse projects? That might not be realistic, right? But and you have who you have and so on, right? And you have to deal with it. So I think part of it is you have to and I'll stop there. You have to accept other people's personality type and learn. That's part of your learning and your growth as an individual, right? That to learn how to deal with people that don't think like you. So as much as you want a safe space, like as an introvert, I'm best working on a lockdown because I don't see anyone and I'm at home and it's great. But you need to go out of your comfort zone, right? And say, okay, maybe I need to force myself to be a bit more out there. And as an extrovert, I'm like, okay, I need to give people space. I need to, if they say they don't want a meeting about everything and they need to think on their own, I need to give them that space too. Right?